Hello, welcome. This is part 2 of my color along out of Magical Earth Mythographic for Mythographic of the Month Club. So the first one was the background, if you are interested in that. It is not quite completely done, but it is done until I get some more details in and see kind of where I want to put clouds and things, or if I even want clouds. So I'm going to start with his antlers here, antler tree thing we got going on. I pulled dark umber, light umber, and raw umber, and I have a dark brown on standby just in case. And so I tested it out up here just to make sure I was going to like it, but I took my dark umber and filled in the darkest parts, so they're kind of shaded for you. You can kind of tell by the lines where the darker part of things are going to be. So like right here. You can always add your own, or if you don't feel like you like that look, don't have to add it. Totally up to you. I am going to use a super sharp tip for this because the lines are very thin. Again, I'm not going to base layer because I want this to be vibrant. And if I try to color over the lightest shade, my light umber, it's going to dull down this dark brown. So for this one, I am not going to base layer. Okay, so then I'm going to take the light umber Okay, notice I'm still leaving some white. I am going to do my stems and things. I can add a little green to those later on if I decide I want them more green, but for now I'm going to do everything in brown. Okay, so light umber, leaving some white. Now these browns I'm going to set aside and leave out because they will also be his colors if I don't get that far. So don't put your colors away. Okay, raw umber. And this is going to be our blender. So this I am going over everything. And if I'm not liking the look of it or I want to darken it, then I can go back over like that and add a little color. So I will do that after. I just wanted to show you that that's how my plan is going to go. These pencils look almost exactly the same. And one is a scholar. So I'm not. Okay. Oh, sorry about the wiggle. I had to peek real quick. If you are following and you don't have scholars, your combination would be dark umber, chocolate, light umber. Test it out and make sure you like it first because it won't look exactly like mine. It will be a little darker, but still a very pretty combo. I always do that. I pull my scholars not thinking about it and then realize it in the video. But I do like this combo, so I probably would have used it anyway. Okay, again, just darkening up a couple spots, adding some little bit of dimension here. Okay, I'm gonna darken this. And again, it's kind of put in for you. There's a little bits of shading there where your darker should go. Okay, so working down here. Okay, I'm gonna streak this because I want it to blend with his head. Light umber. Again, I'm gonna come back and touch that up a little. Alright, so just kind of looking around, see if I have color everywhere I want there to be color. I guess I should finish this little section here. Alright, sorry I'm kind of quiet. It's been a day or two, maybe a week. But I really wanted to get another part up, but I really wanted to work on this picture, so here we are, just a little quiet. Alright. So again, I'm going to come in here with this raw umber. Now I might even come in with a putty beige and work on my highlights a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and put all this down the way I have been, so at least it's all the same when I add my highlights. Maybe a little ginger root would look nice. I just feel like it's missing a little bit of depth here. I forgot my raw umber over here altogether. I just said heck with it, apparently. I have not picked my flower colors yet, which is another reason I kind of wanted to put some brown in so I could decide. I'm kind of leaning toward purple myself. Alright, there's a dip right here and right here. Maybe that's all it needs, is a little more shading. Sidetracked, here we go. So I recently got Dreamweaver out of this. Is it Dreamweaver? I think it's, yes, Dreamweaver. I waited to get it because at first I wasn't sure about that book. There were a few pages I was like, no. There was a couple I liked, but there were more I was like not sure of. The more I thought about it and looked at the pages, I was like, all right, we're gonna grab it and we're gonna use it as a challenge. It's gonna be a challenge book. So there's a cool mermaid page in there. I might use it for May, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a flip up of it. It is the new artist. I don't want to kill her name. This one, Alessandra Fusi. We'll peek at that one. Keep an eye out if you're interested, if you don't already have it. Like I said, I was undecided. That one and Animal Menagerie, or maybe it's just Menagerie. Wasn't sure on that one either, so I haven't grabbed it yet either. But I might change my mind. I do that. I talk myself into things sometimes. Okay. So again, I am doing the brown all the way down here. If you want to use green, if you want to transition to green, go for it. I'm just going to add that in kind of as I do my leaves. Because after I get all this in, I still have leaves to go. Okay, this is my light umber, or chocolate, depending on what pencils you have and if you're following. You could also go like light umber and putty beige or ginger root or whatever if you don't like the chocolate look. Swapped my pencils out of order here. I forgot this little section here wants to be shaded. Okay, now we're gonna go with the raw. Got the rock a little bit. And I am going to pull one more color. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this is ginger root, and you can kind of already see where I put it in. But I'm just going to bring up my highlights in this tree a little bit with this ginger root, because it was feeling pretty blah to me, and I wasn't liking it. I wasn't digging it, so I had to pull an extra color. So on this one, I'm also not liking this up here. So I'm kind of darkening this up a little because I feel like it's getting kind of lost in everything else going on. And again, the ginger root, I'm still going to do everything the same. Even though I added a color, I'm still going to put all my colors in exactly as I have been. For one, the ginger root goes over perfect, so I don't really have to worry about anything not highlighting or blending out, but also because I've already done it on so much of him, I don't want to change the look of things now. So again, just got my background a little, just some sections. I'm not going over the whole thing, just kind of highlighting. I'm going to quickly do this with the rest of my tree real quick, because if I don't, I will forget and it will look weird when I'm done, and I will wonder why my tree looks weird. Okay, that one is a little too highlighted, so I'm coming back in with my sharp pencil and just kind of putting some of that color back over. All right. And there we have one whole horn. One side to go. So again, in this ginger root, I will incorporate into his colors when we get to him down here as well. So this is covered, his head, so I don't really have to worry about blending it with the first strokes like I did on the other side. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in my dark. Work my way around this branch here. Now these rocks, I think I want to do gray, but I am going to do the swirls in them, probably whatever color my flowers are, so maybe a purple. I would make them look like normal rocks, but there's some floating up here, so I feel like they need to look kind of magical. That is the direction I'm going, just to give you a heads up in case you don't like it. Kind of formulate your own plan there. I do appreciate everyone who is joining in and coloring though. Even if it is a different book and page, still appreciated. Alright. See where I got a little wild with pink here, but it covers, so I'm not too worried. Okay. We'll do this little section, and then we'll do a little bit of something else if I have time So again, doing just like I did, just filling in the spots I want, leaving a little white for my highlight colors. This is my light umber. Kind of skip around here. I followed a tree limb and got off somewhere over there. Okay, my raw umber. Got a little on the background there. I will fix up. Hard to do without turning the book. I'm so used to turning my book, but I don't want to mess everybody up. I start moving things around. I'm sorry if I bumped the camera. Oh, I gotta change positions here. Okay. And then I randomly just stopped. Must have been where I got sidetracked and off on a different tree branch here. I'm going to blend this darker out a little so it doesn't look like it's drawn in. It looks more shadowy. Blend that out with the light umber. And these ones right here. I actually thought they were lines on the rock at first, so now I need to make sure they come across as tree branch. Okay, raw umber. I don't think you can, but if you can hear the meowing, he is not abused. He is just very sad that there are other kitties outside playing in the super cold weather, and I won't let him out to play. He's watching the other kitties in the window meowing, telling me he would like to go play with his friends. I don't know how any of those cats are out there. It's so cold. Warmer than the -38 we had, but still a little chilly to be playing outside, I think. Right. Okay, just quickly putting in my highlight color. This is the easy part here. And I need to add a little darker over here because it there we go. Like that better. So there are our horns, antlers, tree things, whatever you want to call them. I will finish the rest of those off camera. There's only a couple little branches left, but I feel like they're pretty repetitive. So you get the idea of what we're going for here. This one has a twist in it that I need to darken here. All right. So we just have that one little one and a little piece there and some stick-offs to worry about. But that is that. So I have a little bit of time left here. I'm going to work on him a little bit, and again I want a super sharp tip, so dark under, and I'm going to start putting in the dark around his ears so his ear will stand out. I probably won't get him all done on this video, but that's okay. So I'm also going to shadow around his fur here. We'll just put our shadows in first and go from there. So the shadows in his fur here, I'm just kind of putting a little layer in. I'm still going to probably do the fur technique all the way through, so I'm not going to blend anything out just yet. So I have a lot of layers to go, but it's a nice start here. Okay, so I'm kind of putting in the shadows around his arms. Around his leg here. Okay, and that is her blanket. Okay. So I am going to do his head a little darker than the rest of him. So I'm just tinting a little bit of this. There we go. Super sharp tip. I'm just putting in all the little dashes. You don't have to hit them all, and they don't have to be exactly where the lines are, but my poor brown dark umber pencil here. Okay, so I'm going to turn this just a dot here, and I'm going to work these little lines up his nose and around his eye. All these little dashes will hopefully come out to look like fur when we get some more going here. Okay, I'm not going to do his body just yet. I'm going to stick with up here. Okay, so I'm going to take the light umber. I knew that wasn't right. Okay. And I'm actually going to take a little bit of dark brown as well. And on him here, I'm going to add... So I'm adding the dark brown up here because I want this part of him to be a little darker than his body. Now you can do it opposite. You can do it a little lighter than his body, whatever. However you think it looks. I didn't actually Google an elk or anything beforehand, just kind of winging it. My strokes are a little longer with this one. And it does require patience because you don't want to just start coloring. You want to keep the strokes. Okay, so I'm going to come up and I'm going to pull out on his ear. Okay. Now I'm going to take that light umber, same thing. And now I'm leaving a little white right here. This is where I kind of want the highlight in his fur to be. And I'm also going to do it on his face and his chin. Okay, this is where that ginger root will come in. If the ginger root looks too yellow, you can go over it with your umber after you get it on there. So don't think you're stuck with it or that it might be the wrong shade. But I do want to get this on there so I can see where I need to build up some more color. Now this fur looks really rough, which is kind of what I was going for. I didn't want him to look silky smooth. Okay, and then I'm going to just repeat that process. So I'm not going to have you watch me do the whole thing. I feel like that would probably get boring, but I am going to quickly show you when I start getting all these colors worked in. This won't look the same at all. It's really ugly right now, I'm not gonna lie. Darken around his eye, and his nose, and his mouth here. Work around that ear. Okay. Then I'm going to take the raw umber. I'm going to go over all of him. I am kind of coloring in the end of these strands of fur to make sure they get all the color I want them to have. Blending that highlight I put on his face. And he starts to get to looking a little more natural colored here. Blending some of that fur out, the rough lookings. Okay, I'm still going to come in with this dark umber, add my shadows. Alright, so I will finish blending him out, but that is going to be our dear questions, comments, anything like that, please let me know. I thank you for watching. I hope to see you for part 3. Bye.